ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ
ਕਾ
ਕਾ
ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
मन का सिख हो आपने ही मन का और सिख हो आपने ही मन का लालच हा गुणता उजरा लालच हा गुणता उजरा लालच हा गुणता उजरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा निश्चय कर आपनी जीत करो जय कर आपनी जीत करो निश्चय कर आपनी जीत करो निश्चय कर आपनी जीत करो न डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा भाव की याद निदान बने छबिया की याद निदान बने छबिया की याद निदान बने अंधहीरन में तब जूझ मरो 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 ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा निश्चय कर आपनी जीत करो 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 न डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसा छाप छायलरा ना डरो अरसो जब जाए डरो This Shabd by our 10th Master Guru Gobind Singh Kalkita, a great warrior who developed a great sense of veeras, a great sense of strength. Guruji who developed this warrior spirit inside us. This Shabd has become our national anthem. Dehe siva bar mohe ehe, O Malik, menu ehe bar de, give me this boon. ਸੁਭ ਕਰਮਨ ਤੇ ਕਬਹੂ ਨਾ ਡਰੋ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ, the true path, the true campaign, kabhu na daro. May I never be afraid of that, Malik. May I never be afraid. Na daro arso jab jaye laro. And when I go and fight, menu dar na lage. Hey Malik, I do not want to be afraid. Give me the courage. ना डरो अरसो जब जाए लरो, निश्चय कर अपनी जीत करो. निश्चा means with faith, with confidence. निश्चय दे नाल मैं अपनी जीत करा. I want to win with great confidence. अर सिख हो अपने ही मन को, ए लालच हो गुण तो चरो. ए मालिक, लालच means desire. ए लालच हाँ गुण तो उच्चरो. Give me this desire, this लालच. जब आव की औद निधान बने. जब आव means my life. When my life comes to an end, my lifespan comes to an end. जब आव की औद निधान बने. अत ही रण में. Ran means war, in a battle. अत ही रण में तब जूझ मरो. May I die fighting in that battle. प्यारी साध संगत, there is a great scholar, a great philosopher of the 20th century, Bertrand Russell, who lived between 1872 and 1970. Some regard him as the greatest philosopher of the 20th century. He was an atheist. He did not believe in God, but he understood the Sikh scriptures. He understood the Guru Granth Sahib, and he understood the message that it gave. And with great regret, he had to say that the Sikhs haven't brought out in the broad daylight the splendid doctrines of this religion. This religion which has come into the benefit of mankind. This is their greatest sin, and the Sikhs cannot be freed of it. Bertrand Russell said that this is a sin, and we cannot be freed of it. Pyari Sadh Sangat, when I delve into our itihas, into these hidden pages of our itihas, when I look around at what is happening around the world, this heightened sense of intolerance that is being displayed by one faith against another. When I look at the message that the Guru Granth Sahib is giving and the example that Guruji have set of equality, not just in rhetoric, but equality in practice, then I am inclined to agree with Bertrand Russell. Hey Sikho, this is one of our greatest sins, that we haven't propagated this to the entire mankind. And then I step back a moment and I look at our own itihas, and I look at my Naujawan brothers and sisters. And I say to myself that it is our greatest sin that we haven't even propagated this amongst ourselves. We haven't shared this between ourselves. In our Panth, we have had the benefit of some of the greatest scholars. We had Bhai Sant Singh Maskeen, who I believe has been one of our greatest philosophers. Sant Singh Maskeen, I listen to his katha regularly. He's now in Sachkhand. He passed away a few years ago. And I think to myself, in another 15 years, we are going to forget this man, this great man. There is no day in the calendar which we use to commemorate this great philosopher. Then I look at one of, in my opinion, the greatest kathakars we've had of the 20th century, Gyani Man Singh Chaur. And I listen to the depth the sheer scholarly nature, the intellectual nature and the depth of his katha. A man who was conversant with the Quran, a man who was conversant, who had studied the Veds and the Shastras, who had studied Sanskrit, who had studied the Quran. He didn't just read certain verses of it, he had studied it. He had studied the Guru Granth Sahib and the Dasam Granth. One of the, if not the greatest kathakars we have had, and yet my Naujawan brothers do not know who he is, who this man is, Gyani Man Singh Chaur. Then I look at some of our great raggis and kirtaniye. We've had great raggis like Bhai Santa Singh, Bhai Samund Singh, Bhai Dharam Singh Zakhmi, Sant Sujan Singh. These great raggis, in another 15 years we may not know who they are. We are not even propagating all the great people we have had. We are not sharing their life. I spent hours one night searching for a picture of Gyani Man Singh Chaur. A picture, just one picture of him. Couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. And yet those people, if you speak to a kathakar, someone who does katha, they will tell you that he was the greatest kathakar. And yet we can't even find a picture of him. Khair. Winston Churchill, a man regarded as one of the greatest, if not the greatest Prime Minister this country has had, said about us, the British as well as the Indians are proud of the 38th Sikh Regiment. It is no exaggeration to record that the armies which possess the valiant Sikhs cannot face defeat in war. The armies which possess the valiant Sikhs cannot face defeat in war. This is the statement made about the Sikhs in the Houses of Parliament in the 40s. And the reason why I feel like this, Pyari Saad Sangat, is because 2 weeks ago we celebrated the Battle of Saragari. This was a battle that was fought on the 12th of September in 1897 in Afghanistan, in a place called Saragari. This battle has gone down. Some people have recorded this as one of the this is number 7 in the greatest battles of Britain. The greatest British battles, this is number 7. UNESCO has recorded this as one of the greatest battles in history. It was a battle fought by Sikhs, and yet apne Naujawan, our Paniri, our Qaum does not even know about this battle. On the 12th of September in 1897, 21 Sikhs, 21, fought against 10,000 Afghan soldiers, 10,000. These are not figures that I've made up, these are figures recorded in history, in Itihas. At the time, recorded and recognized and acknowledged by the British Army that these were the numbers: 21 Sikhs and 10,000 Afghan soldiers. What was the utshah, what was the courage that sat inside the hearts of those 21 Sikhs who gave their life fighting for the British Army? They were members of the British Army. We are a very loyal Qaum. We have fought in the British Army alongside the British, and we have given our lives. We have fought in the Indian Army. If we have devoted ourselves to them, then we have said, then we will give our life for this country. We gave our life for the British Army, for the British, because we were in their army. 21 of these Sikhs, they were approached in the morning at the fort of Saragari by 10,000 Afghan soldiers. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and a Sikh soldier by the name of Sardar Gurmukh Singh sent a radio message to Colonel Houghton to say that there are so many soldiers approaching, what shall we do? Colonel Houghton said to them that we will not be able to send reserve troops to you in time. We are too far away. It is up to you what you want to do. You can desert the fort and you can run back to where we are. I am not going to ask you to fight. These are impossible odds, 21 Sikhs versus 10,000 Afghan soldiers. Sardar Gurmukh Singh came back into the fort and he told his 20 colleagues, 20 Sardars, 20 Sikhs, all Amritdhari. Hear this, in the British Army there was a rule, and the rule said that a Sikh had to be Amritdhari. They were not accepting Sikhs who weren't Amritdhari. Why? They recognized that when a Sikh takes Amrit, there is this spirit that develops inside of him, a fighting spirit which fights till the death. A spirit which cannot be controlled once it is on the battlefield. And they recognized this, and they made it a rule that when a Sikh joins the British Army, he has to be Amritdhari. If he's not Amritdhari, then we're not interested. So Sardar Gurmukh Singh approached his colleagues, his brothers, and he said, this is the situation. Colonel Houghton has said they will not be able to get here in time. We can desert this fort. We can head back to where the reserves are. We have plenty of time, or we can die fighting and protecting this fort. Pyari Sad Sangat. And this is the decision that they made. At that point in time, Pyareo, they had plenty of time to run away. They could have deserted that fort, but the decision they made was, we joined this army, we devoted our life to the British, and we are going to fight to the death. That is what we came here to do. And it is impossible, Pyari Sad Sangat, that at that time, they didn't sing this great shabd, Dehe Siva bar mohe ehe, Shubh karman te kabhu na taro. Na daro arso jab jaye laro, nische kar apni jeet karo. Ar Sikh ho apne hi man koe, lalach ho gun to jaro. Jab aav ki aud nidan bane, at hi ran mein tab juj maro. Hey Malik Guru Gobind Singh Sache Padshah Kalgitar Garib Niwaj. Jab aav ki aud nidan bane, when I am in the midst of the battle, at hi ran mein. At means in the absolute. At, midst. At hi ran mein. Ran means in the middle of a battle. Tab juj maro. I want to die fighting. I don't want to die a cowardly death. And that is precisely what happened, Pyari Sad Sangat. This is a battle that has been recognized by the British. Why hasn't it been recognized by the Sikhs? Jad Goreya ne pashaniya hai, they have recognized this battle. It's the 7th greatest battle in the British Army's history. Why have we not recognized it? Da Pyari Sad Sangat, I do sometimes feel that when Bertrand Russell makes these comments about the Sikhs, that it is a sin that we have not brought out our scriptures. We haven't brought out our scriptures and our philosophy into the world. I step back a moment from there and I say, before we can do that, we need to bring these pages of our Itihas to our Naujawan, and we need to increase our own understanding and our own awareness of these. This is one battle in our history, Pyari Sad Sangat. If we go back to the times of Guru Gobind Singh, all those battles that we fought against terrific odds. The Sahibjade who gave their lives, who were bricked alive, and the sacrifices that were made in those times, the heart-wrenching, the tear-jerking sacrifices that we made in those lives. How can it be that our children and our Naujawan don't even know about these? With these words, Pyari Sad Sangat, we beg forgiveness. This is a shabd by Guru Gobind Singh, our 10th master. We have sung it in a rag called Patdeep. This is a rag that is not in the Guru Granth Sahib. This shabd is not in the Guru Granth Sahib, it's in the Dasam Granth. It has become our national anthem. Why has it become our national anthem? Because a Sikh is not afraid of the truth. Whether that truth means campaigning for an issue, whether that truth means fighting in a battle, we are not afraid of the truth. And once a Sikh starts to run away from the truth, then one of the pillars of our dharma begins to become eradicated. Na daro arso jab jaye laro, nische kar apni jeet karo. Daro arso jab jaye laro, na daro arso jab jaye laro, nische kar apni jeet karo, nische kar apni jeet karo, nische kar apni jeet karo, na daro arso jab jaye laro, na daro arso jab jaye laro, na daro arso jab daro arso jab, na daro arso jab jaye laro. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।